position. Now we're in the chips, I think. All right, so and we've got that. Top fans. All right, I don't know how I can make that bigger. What did I just do? Seriously, you can't use my email? How do I use my passkey, diddly dog? I'm locked out of my own chat. Try another way. What password are you guys looking for? What is my password? This is silly. Try another way. How about my phone number? Okay, hopefully. No. 122651. Oh, for the love of God. How do I not? I can't see my comments. Come on. I freaking hate this. You can hear my voice. I just can't see the chat. Okay, let's try. Oh my gosh. So, why? Okay. So, sorry if you're watching this, and bang, we got that. But I don't have. Okay, so that's working. But I have no way to. Oh, this is making me so mad. Why? That's fine. I just need this chat thing. Oh no. This sucks. At least I hope this is. I still can't tell if anybody's in here. Okay. Let's do Teton slides. No, where did my... This thing is going to be super frustrating. Oh, Timmy, you're on there. God, I hate this. I hate technology. It's got... All right. So I can't see other people in the chat. Oh no, I don't want this. Not now. Freaking retards. Why? Why is this doing this to me? Why can't I comment on my own stream? Gosh, this is very frustrating because this is not supposed to work like this at all. Okay, so we've got this. Okay, here's my... Hey, Tim. Unfortunately, this is all on a delay, and I can't... So, on a delay, unfortunately... Anyway, Tim, it's good to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in. Our first stream. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not. I wish there was a way that I could take that. It's good to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in. Our first stream. Yeah, this is such a delay. I need. I just want to see the chats, and this giant piece of crap is not letting me see you guys chat in real time, as it were. I guess we're gonna have to do the best we can here. Oh no, why did you just do this to me? No, 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 no. Again, Tim, we'll kick this off a little bit more formally. Obviously, I'm like you. I'm running a little bit early. I'm super nervous. We haven't done this before. I've talked to Buck a little bit yesterday or day before. I hope you guys down there are in good shape. I think it's about 9 a.m. Wherever you're at. And yeah, let me turn the volume down on you guys because I don't need to hear myself talk. Hopefully, I can see that I'm coming through. Hopefully, on my microphone here. This is kind of a interesting setup I have going on, and hopefully, Tim, if you can give me a heads up. Do I sound okay? Do I look okay? It's maybe a little different format than you're used to on Buck's channel on his live stream. Trying to sheesh her up a little bit. And unlike Buck, I was trying to use some software that obviously this isn't working out totally cool. So I'm trying to make this work. And my hope is that I can keep up on the chat just by watching the live stream on my own computer here. So we'll see. Well, I guess we'll see. And good morning. I think it's Saturday morning if I'm correct. Hopefully we can get you guys, some of the Australia kids in, maybe some of my subscribers here in the States. If Slacken's tuning in from Canada, Canada, if you will, we'll have the full worldwide crew. I can't remember, there was a kid in Britain too, wasn't there? There's a UK Buckaroony subscriber that's pretty normally on the streams as well. Although it would be, oh, let me think. It's going the other way. So it's late Friday night for him. So if it's almost 4 p.m. here, probably GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, plus 7 hours, I think. So 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. in the mother country for you guys. So I guess we'll see. And I wish I felt more confident that you guys were in here. Yeah, because I think, Tim, you're definitely one of his local guys, right? I believe so. Oh no, what did I just do? What did I just do? I just dropped out of the chat again. Let's do that. No. Was that this one? Nope. That one? Yeah. And to answer your question, it's going well other than this whole chat situation. It immediately locked me out, and we, yeah, things have gone downhill from there. But I do like the camera quality, and it's if I can get I guess my shit together a little bit, we'll already. I have a bunch of cool tabs set up and everything ready to kick this thing off, and um, yeah. Now I don't know what's going on. Controls. I wonder. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not terribly obviously. Yeah, let's do that. Well, Tim, if you want, you and I can look at some slideshows here while we wait for other folks to kind of come in into the chat. We'll do a little Teton slideshow. I'm guessing that you probably have seen this the uh, from the video that I made. I just took some stills. So, well, like I said, it's still before the chat's even going to start. We'll see. Like I said, I was feeling impatient. I'm very scared of technology, if I'm honest. And so I didn't, I just don't trust myself with this whole tech thing. That picture there I really like. That picture I like too. We got super lucky at that lake, whatever that's called. Made me look like a hero, photographic hero, I tell you. Oh yeah, brought some extra water here. Nothing too flashy at my house. I'm trying to do this. Trying to do a proper stream. Again, I was hoping for a couple of people bopping in here. We'll see. We got about 6 more minutes before we go live. And then we'll be off to the races. This is not an organized setup. I think I'm going to get a monitor, a second screen here. That's the only way I can see doing this. I'm trying to do it off my laptop. I have no idea how Buck does it. Well, Buck normally doesn't use software, so that's probably how he does it super easy. Oh, Mike for Mace. Oh my God. Oh, I love you, dude. All your prayers on Facebook, I read them all. Mike for Mace. I wish I had an image I could throw up here, but I'm not tech savvy enough to do it. Mikey he was our chaplain at my where I used to work, and where I used to work could be a hectic place, and so Mike was a person that I love that guy. He was just a great human being, and I'm so glad to see you on here, Mike. I didn't ever expect to hear from you. Nothing, man. Dana and I, as you can see, this is I've just got a slideshow up right now of the Grand Tetons, but I'm gonna try to start doing some live streams. I've been kind of in the chat on another live streamer friend of mine that has a channel down in Australia. If you have a chance, it's Mr. Buckaroony, and he's a former police officer. You're pretty familiar with that, and also a former Army guy. Does a lot of camping, adventuring stuff in far north Queensland in Australia, and he'll probably be popping up here in the chat. That is, but I hope you and the family are well. But yeah, Dana and I are back up to traveling. I don't know if you've been following along. Dana broke her leg in November, and so we were kind of had to stay home all winter from Thanksgiving through kind of the first 3 or 4 months of this year, we've really just been stuck at the house. Uh, this last trip last month was our first kind of getting out, testing things out. But yeah, we still have the same setup. We have the same Forerunner. We're still towing the old Casita. We went to the Grand Tetons, which again is the slideshow that you're kind of seeing right now. And then Dana and I went from there. We stayed in a campground just outside West Yellowstone. And so we spent about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days kind of messing around in Yellowstone. And then we made our way home. And Dana's currently out of town right now, so I get to do all kinds of craziness here at the house by myself, including live streaming. But it's been something I've been kicking around. Again, my friend that has the channel in Australia has some pretty good traction with his and seems to have a good time doing it. And so I just thought, I'm a nerd. I can do this. Whatever. What's the worst thing that can happen? Is somebody going to say something mean to me and hurt my feelings? I both know that we've both probably been assaulted for, just being who we are. So I don't think a guy on a comment thing is going to make a huge difference. Sorry, I've gotten old. I have to put these reading glasses on. Let's see. Check it out. I saw that she is healed up. Yes. Yeah, Mike, she's walking with a limp. It's probably going to be a full year. So look for like her full convalescence, like she's walking on her own with a limp, with some hiking boots and other things. But she, it's slow but sure progress. She broke her ankle, so there's a plate and screws, and it's not quite as simple as, when we were all younger. Oh, nice. Thanks, Tim. And Mike, if you're seeing Tim Ryan in the chat, the two of you guys are the only ones. What are we looking at here? Whoops. Sorry, I'm looking out the front window here. Anyway, Timmy's a guy from Australia, and he's one of the people that I was hoping would be on the stream with us and Buck and the rest of the kind of crowd. I'm just testing this out. I'm hoping for 5 to 6 people actually show up on this deal. I've prepared a few topics. In fact, Mike, so to give anybody else listening a kind of a background, Mike also is an off-road adventure enthusiast. He, last I checked, do you still have that, Mike? You had a really cool, was it a Rubicon Gladiator that you had kind of an off-road camping trailer? I can't think of, if that was what you had. I want to say it was either a 4-door JL or the pickup one, the Gladiator. And then you had some kind of cool like rooftop tent on a off-road adventure trailer, I think was kind of what you were rocking, but it's been a couple years since we spoke. I do, but your description is generous. Mike is again, he was our chaplain at my old job, and he is kind of a master of understatement or underselling things. So anyway, trust me, he has a cool Jeep. He has a cool little, all these things, these little off-road trailers. I mean, unless you buy a Patriot, are relatively inexpensive. They're all worth, in a tent on a small off. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, these guys, the people that'll be on this channel will definitely recognize that, Mike. We'll go from the slideshow to just me. How does that sound, guys? And this is not how I wanted to run the chat, but it looks like I am getting, at least I'm seeing your messages, and that's what's important. Again, going back to Mike, we haven't spoken in a while. You got to call me, dude. We got to go out camping. Or do you not are you still working full time? What's your situation? Are you going to be available this summer for a camping trip? We've got some plans. Dana and I do. Mountain looks absolutely stunning. Yeah, that was up in that was in the Grand Tetons. So that's a Grand Teton National, it's one of our national parks. Grand Teton National Park and Yellowstone National Park are actually just kind of abut each other. And they're right kind of in Wyoming and Wyoming and Montana is kind of where they're situated, with the little sprinkling of Idaho about that's minutes away. So they're kind of at the confluence there. I think Grand Teton, correct me if I'm wrong, is all in Wyoming, but yeah, just right outside Jackson Hole, Wyoming, I believe. And then again, Yellowstone is actually in Wyoming and Montana, and then they both border, those states also border Idaho, which is kind of how we got there. Oh, Buck, you're on. How am I looking, Buck? Am I representing okay? Is this all right for a live stream? You hearing me all right? Timmy Timmy can't be trusted. He says I sound okay, but I trust your professional opinion. And Buck, good friend of mine, Mike Vermace is also in the chat. Our chaplain from my old job, and I think you probably realize how important a good chaplain is. We had a couple, and Mike, by far and away, in some pretty dire bad times, was really a rock for me and several of my coworkers. So anyway, welcome, Mike, and I I would love to introduce you again to Buck and Tim and these guys. Oh, let's see. Would love that. I'm out with some medical stuff now, but we'll hopefully be up and running by August. Oh, your kids are using this stuff. Of course, your kids are. You know what, Mike? That's what kids are. They're good for. My kids are. I think my kids are older. My middle daughter recently got married, and so now I have a new son-in-law, and they have a lawn tractor that needed repair. They're living down kind of west of Sandy, and they got a couple acres down there. And I took my big lawnmower and mowed, and with Tommy, my new son-in-law, and oh my God, he inherited a used lawnmower, and so now I got it up in the. Well, you've been to my shop, but it's up in the shop, and I still smell. I showered right before this. I still smell like gasoline from working on that thing. But oh, Lukey Reed's in, and Tim's still there. Nice. Well, if you're, yeah, I'll definitely have to call you, Mike. I'd love to see what you're up to, and hopefully you get well soon, or it's something. It's all gonna be good. We we definitely have, like I said, this is a good chat. I don't know how many people are in currently. 5 watching. Awesome. We've already. Oh, Lukey is from Tasmania. Oh, I didn't know that, Luke. Maybe I did, because you were in, I think, one of Steve's videos, weren't you? I just watched one of Steve's videos, and I thought you had made a trip with maybe a Ford Ranger you and your dad had kind of built up. Am I thinking of the right guy? All you needs a week. Yeah, I forgot what I said, Mike. But yeah, I'll give you a call. Your phone number is still the same, hopefully. But anyway, I think it's 4:05, 16:05. So, Mike, just so you know, it is Friday afternoon where you and I are chatting from. So, you know what? It's time. It's time. You can have an adult beverage if you'd like. I'm sticking with water, but you know, you're an adult. You can figure it out. And my boys down in Australia, obviously it's the morning for you fellas, so I guess a cup of tea, possibly. Let's see. Tasmania is Australia's smallest state, the little island down the bottom. Stunning state. Oh, Mike, his channel is Mr. Buckaroni. It's just, in fact, if you click on his icon on the chat, I think it'll take you to his channel, or allow you to go to his channel. He does some really good outdoor cooking, camping. He just is doing a series on um, a garden trailer. What he calls a garden trailer, you and I would call a utility trailer. He has it kind of set up. He normally camps in a caravan or an RV, but he has kind of this little utility trailer set up with an awning and stuff that he can just kind of go out and solo camp with. It looks like a pretty cool setup. And about to smash a coffee. Good for you, fellas. Luke says yes. I'm guessing Luke, yeah, I know who you are, Luke. And yeah, that looks like a great truck. I think you had a, oh gosh, it's not the knockoff Mazda thing. A Ford Ranger, maybe. Only a good Australian Ford Ranger, not an American crappy Ford Ranger, would be my suspicion. And no, that looked like a great setup. I am like anything DIY. Luke, I'm here for it. I got to tell you, you can save a buck and get away with fixing stuff yourself or building your stuff yourself. That is, you're my kind of guy. I got to tell you. So that's right up my. Oh, Mike lives with near me, Buck. He lives in kind of Portland. Oh, a Nissan Navara. Okay. Navara D40. I'll have to look that up, Luke. I don't really know my foreign, because like Nissan sells pickups here, but unfortunately we don't. They sell different models between the U.S. and in Australia. Like it's very common for you guys to have a Nissan, or like Buck has his Mazda BT50, and a standard truck there comes equipped with a little, I'm guessing, diesel turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel. That's very unusual here. Most all of ours are petrol or gas trucks with V6s. But no, again, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. I think that walk around where you and your dad had made the modifications. But anyway, I did have a couple things I was gonna, before I go off too much on a tangent, and it's Old Home Week. It's a cool truck. Wish we had it in the USA. Yeah, Mike. I keep talking to these freaking guys, and they don't know how good they've got it. Even though diesel's a buck more than gas right now, which sucks. Hey, Rob. Howdy. John, the stars in the triangles, are they folded stars and stripes? Yes, they are. That's there's a flag. In fact, both of those flags are for my father who passed. I had two of them. It's a long story, but yeah, those are from my dad's funeral. So yep, I hung them up. I didn't know what else to do with them. The stars and stripes kind of right here is a flag that flew over the U.S. Congress. They gave it to me when I retired. And then, as you can see, I'm displaying the wonderful Mr. Buckaroonie polo shirt. In fact, you can't really see it, but down there in that bottom cubby of my little storage unit, I've got the other two shirts. And you were right. They run small. You Australians, man. I am not a 2XL guy. I'm like between a large and an XL in American sizes. I don't know what you're doing, Buck, but your shirt was really small. But the 2XL got me. That fits me just fine. So yes, Dana and I already have plans for those shirts. Look for some upcoming Instagram and Facebook photos with us in a variety of new and wonderful places in your Buckaroonie shirts. Let's see. Awesome. Rob, welcome. Rob the Wanderer has a channel as well. So far, all I've got is Mr. Buckaroonie fans in here, which is just fine with me. And yeah, they look good. Yeah, Buck, if you're looking at those triangles in that back wall, the kind of cool thing is, you can't really tell from this camera, but the little flag that's kind of in the middle between the two mirrors up the highest. Here, I'll give you guys a little guided tour before we launch into today's program. But that flag right there was my great-grandfather's flag when during the Great War. That'd be the First World War when he joined the Marines. And then that little tiny picture down on the bottom underneath the kind of the brass plate there, that's my grandfather during World War II. So we've all been dumb and enlisted. Oh, let's see. Good stuff. Sorry, I got to catch up on my chat here. Here to the end. Don't let Trippy see you wearing them. He will hit you with a tariff. Yeah, well, you know what, Buck? Let's talk about some travel. So as you guys, several of you guys, oh Mike, come on now, you got no place to go. Dave Lilly, hi John, greetings from a new Casita owner in Iowa. Well, welcome, Dave. Uh, just so you all you Aussie blokes would I do have a couple subscribers of my own on my channel, and obviously since Dana and I are traveling in our Casita, we a couple people are bound to watch my sketchy videos. Um, Dave, you know. Me being half a dirtbag, don't pay too close of attention as to how I fix things. I can tell you that. And again, I just want to kick off this little live stream with some friends here and welcome. G'day, Dave from down under. Yeah, Dave. Just so you know, a bunch of like the 4 or 5 other guys in the chat are all from a live stream that I participate or I comment on. I follow these guys down in Australia, so they're going to make jokes at my expense and that sort of thing, which is just fine with me. But let's talk about the latest travel that Dana and I did, which was, let's see, the first place we went that I set up a slideshow for, and we'll get that going right there. And several of you guys from Australia will recognize the images from the Tetons. And so this was as I talked to Buck the other day on the phone, and so Buck is giving me crap because I'm always falling down in the videos. I think I fell down. Yeah, Twin Falls, I fell down. I just about broke my leg in in the Grand Tetons where I shot these pictures. But if you noticed in the videos, everything got super kind of wiggly when I after I fell down in the Tetons, because all I had was I can show you. I have a couple travel tripods, and I don't know where my other one is, but I have basically something similar to this guy here. After I kind of ate shit there in the Tetons, like right at the beginning, I had to use a little short-legged tripod, and that's why a lot of stuff was shot from the ground. And then I had this tripod here, which is like an 89-inch expandable tripod, and it'll take my big camera and stuff. But I broke the head off of it. I had to replace that. So I've got her back in action now. In fact, she's built a little better now, but there was there was some game time repairs that had to happen. And I had forgotten to take a card reader with me because we were on the road to edit. And so the other thing I was missing was I didn't have my little, not a GoPro, what are they called? A DJI something or other, action camera. And so I didn't have a way to read the cards. So anyway, such is my life. Let's see. And let's talk about the Tetons. These are some images. So that's Xena. And that's Xena again. Don't know what that is. Anyway, here we are in the mountains. These are pretty amazing. I think they're like 12, 13,000 feet, which is, I guess, not as tall as I expected. We really got lucky on these images where you see the reflection in the water with the lake. We got there at the perfect time in the morning, and then within 10 minutes the wind had come up, and that was totally disrupted the kind of glassy from the glassy finish on the lake. Yeah, Buck, I know. Xena the bear hunter. Yeah, you and her get along real good. I don't think you mentioned that. We didn't see any bears this time. We have seen them in national parks. We didn't see any bears in the Tetons or hey, thanks, Rob. I think she's photogenic. She's vicious. She's named after, one of your natural resources down there, Xena the warrior princess. So that's our dog. She's in case you can't tell, she's got about 10-inch. She looks like Rafa a little bit in that she's only about, I don't know, 8 or 10 inches tall and 2 feet long. But yeah, the Tetons were fine. This picture of us with the antlers was there where we were staying in the. We were technically in the park, but we were staying at a campground, kind of outside the main national park, and we were about 4 or 5 miles from Jackson Hole, which is a interesting. Um, it's an interesting little town. A lot of billionaires live in Jackson Hole. It was a really odd place. A lot of super rich people there in the middle of nowhere. They have an airport that's like a small municipal, like tiny municipal airport. Only there's like these crazy business jets flying in and out all the time. I stand corrected. Xena was a Kiwi, Lucy Lawless. I had a crush. Hey, bro, if you're of a certain generation, everybody, I might still have a crush on Lucy Lawless. Let's be real. Peach. Oh my God, Mike Vellante, you traitor, the tractor rookie, another one of my former coworkers, live from Texas. I think. Are you in Texas now? You can't. You got to be kidding me. And why aren't you publishing YouTube videos, you slacker? I got to see whatever new. You've got to have a homestead down there. Yeah, the log cabins were cool. In fact, you can kind of see. Let's see if there's some people in here. I had the weirdest interaction. So while we were at those cabins and I was taking pictures, this guy rolls up in a crew cab diesel Ram pickup with the big buck stop bumper on the front, the whole thing. He jumps out. He's wearing a black duster, black cowboy hat, sunglasses. He's literally dressed as the character from Yellowstone, the Rip character that's such a kind of a badass. And this guy's like got his family and it was very odd, very odd. But anyway, I avoided him and I didn't talk to him. Let's see. Let's see. San Antonio in the house. San Antone. Is that different than San Antonio? You weirdo. Is your daughter down there? Is that what happened? So this, hey guys, on in the stream right now, a friend of mine, Mike, is the tractor rookie, and he has a really cool YouTube, or had a really cool YouTube channel. And he deserted me though. He was up here in the Pacific Northwest, and he pulled up stakes and went to warmer climates. But anyway, that's what I have for the Yellowstone. We can, or not Yellowstone, for the Tetons. We've let that run through a couple times. Sorry, I got to slide things around here. Let's go to what happened to my Yellowstone stuff? That's the Teton slides. Thumbnail, ECS, scene 2. Oh, let's do this. All right, boys. So what we're looking at now, what we're looking at now is I don't have anybody on the chat. Oh, there we go. What we're looking at over here is our trip to the Yellowstone, which is one of kind of the most amazing national parks of all the ones that Dana and I have been to. This one is definitely right at the top. I don't know. I tend to like Moab better. Well, I like Utah better, frankly. But Yellowstone it's an interesting spot. Yeah, Buck, I'll have to throw that in a frame at some point. I like this image with the map, and then I like the images with the bison. And the pools, yeah. So Yellowstone is just massive. There's no way we could really cover everything in a, you could watch the video that I made, but it's, man, it's just one of those national parks that it's so big and so massive, and there's so many different things. Like there's parks you go to like Yosemite or like the Grand Tetons that it's more or less a photo op, right? You go there and the views are incredible, and you see a few animals and that sort of thing. But Yellowstone has like the geology. You know, you have all this seismic activity, you have the hot springs, you have the geysers, you have all the animals, the bison, and you know all of this crazy landscape stuff, and it's really hard to even articulate how cool it is. Yeah, that's me with my mouth open. Oh, perfect. And we stayed near West Yellowstone. That's what some of these images are. It's me shooting a picture of my butt. And I have no idea what that. Oh, that was me at another dump station. It's us at the travel center. But yeah, Yellowstone just doesn't disappoint. Rob, yes, there's a fee to camp in a national park. And yes, there's an entry fee. If you watch that video, I think it's in my playlist. Dana and I even comment. If you're from overseas, it's got under your friend and mine, Donald J. Trump, it has gotten much more expensive for overseas travelers to visit national parks. But Rob, if you come to the U.S., get a hold of me. I have a parks pass. I'll get you in. How does that sound? Anyway, it's yes, it does it on top of the part you if you're a just a U.S. citizen, it costs I think $80 a year or 80 something dollars, maybe $80 for a lifetime pass. I'm unclear. I have a free pass. If you're a veteran, you can get a free national parks pass, and then all I do is pay for the camping when you're in the park. Oh, no content development for me. Oh no, bought a big house on a half acre. Yeah, Rob. I offered that to Buck. He won't do it. He won't fly over here. He's a big sissy. He's not going to make that trip. I, I've met plenty of Australians that have made the trip, man. All you do is you fly from Australia. In fact, I think you're on the East Coast like Buck. This is really simple. You fly to Hawaii, you chill there for a couple of days. You go to the Arizona Memorial. You see the mighty Missouri, or yeah, Missouri, battleship Missouri. You chill out there for a couple of days, and then it's a quick 6 hour hop. It's super fast. You just fly the rest of the way right into Portland, and I pick you up. No fuss, no muss. Just zip in. Let's see. I was asked to be over there for the World Cup for work, but already had work booked here. Oh no. No, if you come up, well, I think the World Cup, I don't think we have anything locally in the World Cup, so I'd have to travel. I don't know where I would see you with the World Cup. No, you should have come over. No, the big orange fella did not sack most of the national park workers. No, you have to understand. Our president says a lot of stuff that may or may not be truthful, and sometimes he can be what people would call full of crap. So, no, they did some stuff, and then I think most of those people got hired back, or there's a lot of stuff that doesn't stick. He's kind of a slippery dude, so I wouldn't. Not all is lost. It's not too, not too much doomsday stuff. Sorry, Buck. No, but yeah, anyway, getting into Montana, Wyoming, Yellowstone, beautiful park. Uh, Buck, I did include some slides here. I'm having troubles because my chat goes away every time I change one of these deals. So Buck and I were talking about offline. We were talking about this outfit, and I would imagine, Rob, some of you guys know what Patriot campers are, but they've started selling these here in the States. Sorry, rough segue, by the way. I oh shoot, you know what? Let me go back to my last one. I did have some more to say about the Yellowstone. So if you watch the videos, I didn't cover it in my videos, But I've skipped over some stuff. We did have some breakage on this trip, and if you've ever tried to troubleshoot a 25-year-old propane fridge, you can feel my pain. Uh, the problem is on a propane fridge, there's a little device called a thermocouple, which is basically a probe that sticks out for the burner, and the heat from the burner in your propane fridge generates micro voltage, which is, and then is transmitted back to the thing. It's like it keeps the gas going. I think the valve switches off if it fails basically, and ours failed, and it's made in Sweden or Switzerland or somewhere, not here. And I could not. I looked everywhere, but and I'm thinking about doing a video because I found out how you can jury rig, in my case, a hot water heater thermocouple in place of that. That's available domestically here at like any hardware store. But oh man, it took me probably 2 weeks of I sent two different ones back on Amazon, calling around to Camping World, all these RV places. Of course, the fridge was discontinued, and nobody could help me until I called a local repair tech that referred me to a wholesaler actually in Portland, and Laurelhurst something RV supply place, and they grudgingly sold me the right part, and so it's all fixed up now. But man, what a pain! That and that cool awning I have on the Casita, the 180-degree awning, the factory mounts on the trailer had pulled out because they were just riveted on, and that wasn't something new, that had been done for a while. So she's out there sealed up again. I just need to remount that awning. Oh, let's see. Yeah, know these guys well. Yellowstone National Park's been around since 1872. President Grant. Yeah. Yes, he did, Tim. Yes, I am a big fan of our national park system. But yeah, that's the big parts of the repairs. Well, Dana's out of town. I need to get that awning put back on. Well, I need to get my son-in-law's uh, daggone lawnmower out of my shop. But I need to finish buffing the trailer, get the awning put back on, and then I have another. Oh, I've installed one, but they tap into your 12 volt for the trailer, and they allow you to plug in like USB-C chargers and USB-A, just a little charging port thing. So when Dana and I are in bed, I can plug my phone in. So I gotta get that installed. But I think that's what we've got for the repairs. I didn't make up any slides on that. And it is stunning. Yes, Tim. That yeah, Yellowstone does not disappoint. Well, not and that's the other thing. Every national park, they're national parks for a reason. Some are better than others, 100%. But they all have something to them. Let's see what I got here. I don't. So I think what we're going to talk about. Let's talk about some batteries. So I didn't talk to you about this, Buck, but we had. So up here, I don't know if you guys follow battery stuff here in the U.S., but down where you're at, a year or two ago, there was a small YouTube channel, this guy, Stephen Fisher, that got sued by DCS batteries. And time to check out of my hotel. Great to see you're live, mate. Okay, Rob, have a great morning. And Mike chores for retirement. So anyway, Stephen Fisher, a couple years ago, famously in YouTube, gets sued. And Stephen Fisher, I think his channel is all off-road. He doesn't have an Australian accent. It's some kind of German thing. Anyway, very difficult. Well, for me, he's kind of hard to understand. But so he tests off-road camping, stuff we're all into, gear. And he has this battery, and it's a lithium battery, like Buck's got a million lithium batteries. I've installed a lithium battery. I think most of the people in this chat have some experience with that. Anyway, this Australia being Australia, because I don't understand the laws down there, he gets sued, kind of gets hemmed up because, any of us normal guys, I don't have like a lawyer on standby. If I do or say something that's going to get me sued, that's a problem, right? So anyway, I think Steven Fisher's kind of in that category. And when he got sued, a couple of really big YouTubers, one of whom is a guy named Will Prowse, who's uh, he's a big advocate or tester of all lithium batteries. He does teardowns of batteries, has very expensive test equipment, and basically he has 1 million or 2 million subscribers. Like this kid has a big channel and what he says carries a lot of weight. And he was one of the YouTubers here in America that kind of, well, for starters, he replicated a bunch of the testing for Stephen Fisher on his lawsuit and basically proved what Fisher was saying was accurate, I believe. And then also advocated with him. I think he sent some money, in addition to another guy named Louis Rossman, who is kind of this New York guy. He's a big right to repair advocate here in the United States, which is becoming more and more of a thing. So anyway, more recently, we have a domestic battery here in the U.S. called Battleborn batteries. And there's been some failures and some kind of sketchy technology in these batteries. I'm not an expert, but in watching Will Prowse's battery kind of breakdowns, he's been testing them and they've kind of been failing. And then he's been cutting them open to find out why they fail. And in doing so, he's kind of exposed some real, in my mind, some weaknesses of these batteries. Well, stunningly, he's now being sued by Battleborn batteries. And this just broke this last week. So if you're, we're all on the internet, so keep your eyes kind of peeled for that, because this is very unusual for an American YouTuber to be sued by a company who produces a product. It's Stephen Fisher kind of took us all by surprise, but the way Australian law works, it kind of made more sense. The way U.S. law works, man, they better be loaded for bear, because I think they're in some trouble. I don't think Battleborn kind of realized I'm not sure what their thought process was for filing this lawsuit, but it's real interesting stuff. Oh, let's see. See Rob. Rob's dropped off. And so anyway, I just wanted to kind of do that as a public service announcement. Again, it's cropped up in Australia. I knew several dudes from Australia would be on here. And then additionally, there's likely to be a few people from the U.S. Who need to pay attention to this Battleborn situation, whether you own Battleborn batteries and potentially there could be a claim, or, just fair warning. And frankly, Battleborn was always an upmarket thing. And me being a dirtbag, I was never going to buy Battleborn batteries. They're about twice the price as I don't know. I didn't buy lead time. I bought some other Chinese battery. And they, frankly, my Chinese battery seems to work just fine. But just like all the other ones. But for whatever reason, these upmarket, assembled in the United States, you always want to try to buy the domestic product. And they were all over YouTube here in the U.S. and in RVs and off-road applications a few years ago. But they've since dropped off. And like I said, they were never a thing for Dana and I, just because, dollar for dollar, they were twice the price of what I could get a battery on Amazon for. And so it just wasn't going to be a thing. Not when you're talking about, I think I paid $400 for the battery that we have. It's a 200 amp hour, and it was going to be $800 or $1,000 for a Battleborn. It just didn't pencil out. So anyway, yeah, keep your eye on this stuff, because I like to think we should all kind of look out for other folks, because I know several of you guys do have channels or certainly are involved in the off-road industry. I don't think Battleborn are down here, mate. Yeah, I didn't think they were. I just thought it was kind of an interesting tie-in, Buck, that this guy Will Prowse is really backing up your kid down there that was getting sued, and now he's getting sued. Now, excuse me, let me drink a water here. Let me go around to the other thing I had to talk about. I just kind of threw some random stuff. I didn't know how many people were going to be participating in this. And we have Buck, I did cut this video, and I even posted a video last night. It went live, and then I pulled it down because I was afraid of a copyright strike. But so these guys, you guys in the chat are probably aware of what Patriot campers are, and I just threw some stuff, some screen grabs of from their website up here. I don't think I can get in any trouble for that. But they have this new trailer called an ST5, the Super Tour 5, and I think that's 5 meters. And so it's what, 15, 17 foot trailer. And I was talking to Buck about it, and this was the thumbnail for the original video that I made. Anyway, I don't think Battleborn down here. Fisher had a win as well. I was 10 minutes in it. Yeah, sorry, Buck, I took it down. That's what I was getting into. I was afraid I was going to get a copyright strike when I was thinking about it. I thought about it all evening, and I still have the video. I just took it. I made it private. I didn't, like if I publish, I can make the same video and say the same things, and I probably will based on Patriot's own stuff from their advertising footage, because I'm never going to see one of these things. The closest retailer to me for Patriot campers is in Las Vegas, so it's 18 hours away. And, I may not be the guy, I'm just not part of that club. It's a big club and I'm not in it. I don't know what to tell you, like George Carlin said. They're the Finke edition. Is it Fink or Finke? Finke. It's a place. It's an off-road race place in Australia that these guys are racing in. Anyway, whoops. I didn't put it over there. Oh, we're still on the battery thing. Sorry. I'll put you in the camper thing now. God dog it. How do I get my little that back? Anyway, sorry if you saw what I had to do to make this work. So Patriot is exporting camp trailers to the United States. And you guys know me. I am, or maybe you don't know me, I'm a huge fan of off-road and camping stuff from Australia. It's usually built well. It's well engineered. And from what I can tell, these Patriot campers are engineered like no other. They're just insanely well built. But here's the thing, and Paul, you know where I'm going with this. I'm watching these videos because now they've started hitting YouTube in the U.S. There's a guy named Brad who has a channel called Trail Recon, which is most of the footage I used in my initial video that I made. Because again, just a little peek behind the curtain. I have to screen record this stuff and then put it in my editor and kind of edit it in with my own talking head stuff to make the video. Because again, I have 1,000 subscribers. Patriot ain't gonna send me one of these trailers to review. And B, I'm not driving to Vegas just to see this thing. And I'm not gonna buy one. Never, ever, ever am I gonna buy one. One of these slides here shows the price of this situation. And it's like $150,000 US. And that's just the regular one. The Finke model is more expensive, Fink, I think, model, which is kind of like the Baja edition, I'm guessing, is the Mac Daddy one. And those are like $160. And it's like a 17-foot trailer. It's insane, the price for this thing. Whoops, I don't see anybody commenting here. Anyway, these things are crazy price. They're well built. But the thing I was pointing out to Buck is they're built for Australia. You guys drive on the wrong side of the road. So in Australia, when you're towing your caravan and you pull over to make lunch, you open up the kitchen on what I'm assuming is the shoulder of the road, and make your lunch. When you go to a caravan park or a campground, the picnic table's on one side and the power pedestal or the sewer or whatever hookups might be there are going to be on the other side. And again, the main camping area where you're going to, pitch your tent or throw your awning out or whatever is going to be set up in that manner. Well, these dudes build this trailer for the Australian market, I think, originally. I think this thing's been out for a year or two down where you guys are at. But they're bringing it to the U.S., and it's like buying a right-hand drive vehicle in the U.S. If you want to make your lunch in traffic, be my guest. I love an outdoor kitchen, but if I got to put cones up and wear a safety vest so I don't get run down by a log truck on a back road as I'm trying to make my PB&J on the on the sideboard of this thing, or cook up some chicken noodle soup and whatever else, maybe make a toasted cheese sandwich, it doesn't work for me. And that leaves out the whole, if never visiting a campground of any sort in the United States, because you're always on the wrong side. I mean, it's silly. And especially when it's I'm guessing, what's 5 meters? Is that 15 feet? 16, 17 feet to be generous? So you're going to go buy a 17-foot travel trailer for $150,000. You can literally buy a Dodge Ram 4-wheel drive camper called the Dynamax, used, with the Cummins motor and the whole bit, for $150,000. I know my brother had one. My friend Pat has one now, and they're in that price range for like a 2019. I mean, hey, it's your money. You spend it however you want. But I just saw this ad, and I was just kind of flabbergasted that, they would market this thing. And again, it's very, very obviously marketed to a certain club of people that I'm not in. So, I mean, fair enough, boys. Tear it up. Semi-trailer sandwich. Yeah, exactly. Patriot are way overpriced. They are kidding themselves. Again, I guess if it was oriented the proper way, I could see it. But the other thing is, you guys are building caravans for a lot different. There is the opportunity to drive a caravan or tour in a caravan where you're literally driving hundreds of miles off-road, hundreds and hundreds of miles off-road on washboard roads. Because I see a lot of your guys, like Buck, your Jayco is kind of set up that way, and other people that I follow there have these camp trailers that are very obviously set up to go at least on dirt and gravel roads, because a lot of your freaking country doesn't have pavement. Well, here in the U.S., there might be 2 or 3 places in the United States where you can drive 100 miles and not hit a paved road, or maybe 200 miles. I mean, literally, more likely you're going to drive 20 to 50 miles, and then you'll hit pavement, and then you can hit another section of 20 or 10 or 20 miles. And frankly, when Dana and I use our trailer, we take it off-road, but we take it off-road 5 miles and go camping, and then drive the 4Runner around on all the other roads and stuff. That's just kind of how it works. We have an interstate system here. It's just, again, it's fairly pointless. And that was the whole point of that. How long have we been on here? I don't want to keep you guys too long. We've only been on 45 minutes. This has been very successful. Buck, I got to get you on here instead of you just commenting all over. And shows 8 watching. Wow. Almost in double digit, boys. But yeah, that was my Patriot rant. We again, I think, Buck, I think I am going to cut that video, but I don't think I'll get in trouble on YouTube if I just use their footage from the company. I think it's a problem if I try to use another YouTuber's stuff, and I don't want to piss this guy off or whatever. Well, I don't want to piss anybody off, but I do want to have a little fun at their expense, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, we talked about the travel. Oh, we didn't talk. We've got some big stuff here. I got rolling, and we never talked about our upcoming travel. So Dana and I have a trip coming up, and you guys, we'll be back on the road here. probably in a week or 10 days. I don't know the exact date we're kicking this off. But us and two other couples are headed to Canada. So unfortunately, we won't be up where Slacken's at. We're just going to be closer to home. And if you're unsure of where we're at, we're kind of outside Portland in Oregon. So it's about a day's drive, 6-8 hours for us to get to the Canadian border. But yeah, we're going to head up, probably hit the San Juan Islands. We're going to definitely hit Vancouver Island, Victoria. We've got about 10 days in Canada. So over kind of their Canada Day celebration, which I believe is July 1st, and then our July 4th celebration here in the U.S., we will be up in Canada. So look for some content and shoot, maybe a live stream. Yeah, Buck's a bad influence. My wife bought a Starlink without my permission, and so Buck has influenced her to hook us up to the internet. So potentially, I can find some wild place on the British Columbia coast and set up my little GoPro and as a webcam and do this all out in the wild. Oh, let's see. Lynn Rogers is in. All right. Good morning, Lynn. Just got home to join in. Thank you. That's very kind. Might send them an email about being on the wrong side. Do they still want to let Yanks in? Probably be fine, right? I'm not a crook or anything. I don't know. I'll have a passport, and I'm a rule follower. I'm not gonna like raise a ruckus. I'm not bringing drama to Canada. I'll drink their beer and or a cocktail and that sort of thing. And I don't have any problem with those guys. Oh, nice. Yeah, I looked up your weather, Buck. I think, what are you guys in the 60s today? 60s or 70s? It's not the weather I was expecting to see in far north Queensland. It's like pretty tolerable there today. Looks like you got some rain in the future. Well, and for you too, Lynn. Yeah, no, I'm not wearing a MAGA cap. That's a fact. Well, I don't own a MAGA cap. In fact, I don't wear. When you see me wearing a baseball hat in these videos, it's because I've been sleeping in my trailer for a week and my hair is kind of doing one of these numbers. No, the only real baseball cap I ever wear is that one over there, my Oregon City cap. From where I used to work. No, I don't. I don't have a freaking. No, I live in a very left wing area, guys. So, no, I'm not wearing any political stuff in my neighborhood for sure. Get my ass kicked, and I don't want that. I'm too old for it. Um, but yeah, I looked at the weather in Queensland. Looks like you guys are having a really comfortable. Again, from all the things you always say about where you live, Buck, it sounds like you got some good weather now. Dana's in Southern California at her parents' house. Congratulations, Alicia, my niece, who just graduated this weekend from Huntington Beach High School, and it's in the 70s in Huntington. Well, it's Southern California. There's no better weather anywhere on the planet than Orange County, California. It's just the way it is. I don't know what to say. My son, big New York Knickerbockers fan. Buck, you're always giving sports things, so I looked up sports ball scores. The New York Knickerbockers are fighting it out with the Spurs in the National NBA. Sorry, and they're up 3-1. They play a game tomorrow night at 5:30 in San Antonio, so that should be a big event. Let's see. Well done, Alicia. Roz's granddaughter is the same name. Nice, nice. Oh, speaking of that, your neck of the woods, did you guys get any fallout from there was a massive earthquake, I believe, in the Philippines. Did that affect anything down there? Like a tsunami or any kind of effect at all? Weather's rainy, temps are down as it is in the winter. I'm still in a t-shirt. It's not that freaking cold, Buck. Relax. Ross's nephew used to play for the Spurs, Patty Mills. No kidding. Well, that's a small world. I can only see Ozzy's name. Yeah, Buck did a good job for me on my first live stream. I only have, so my channel only has like 1,000 subscribers, so I have like way less subscribers than Buck. He got you guys all on here for under a ruse, a clever ruse. Oh, and I'm doing yeah, you guys got to keep me in check here. I got other stuff I can. Yeah, let's do that. This is better. I can get that. I don't need to do that little. You got to again put me in check here. A little view again. We got to be able to see the Buckaroonie shirt there in the. Nothing from the earthquake made Indonesia. Oh, okay. Papua New Guinea. Oh, Len again. Yep, just Australians, just Aussies. Oops. But yeah, my son and his wife are huge Knicks fans. I don't know why. I've never been a basketball fan, but in honor of the Buckaroonie interest in global sports, I thought I'd throw in a sports ball score because I don't watch any of it, frankly. I watch YouTube. I watch live streams with you, Buck. So yeah, we need to get some boys together. You guys can come on. I want to hear a bear story, mate. Well, where's my phone? I don't think. Gosh, you'll have to give me a minute. I don't know if I can pull up a bear picture that quick. We have. It's been a while since I took a picture of a bear. I wonder if there's a search. Bear. Oh yeah. Wow, that was quick. Holy mackerel. Yeah, give me just a second here. I will show you guys some bear pictures from literally right out this window. And boom. That's a video. That's a good bear picture right there. And I need to airdrop these to my MacBook. Okay, sorry guys, I'm going to drop off, or not drop off here for a second, but I need to. Okay, so I need to. Oh, come on. Copy. Oh, come on. Anyway, new folder. Put that right there. And we'll do bear pictures, something. All right, sorry, I can't see the chat, so if you guys are, let's see, airdrop those guys to my MacBook. Copy. Sorry, I'm not a big techie, guys. I think I got all my bear stuff in there. Perfect. Bears. Got that. Let's get my OBS going. And come on now. So this bear was right outside. Let's go to image slideshow. Okay. We'll see if these pop up. How does that sound? Add files. Go to my bear file. Oh, come on. It's not letting me pick up my... Okay. I guess we're only getting 2 of them. So, slideshow. Sorry, I dropped off there for a second. I gotta... Welcome to freaking whatever this technology is. Wireless mic. So for each slide and each transition, I have to add in the audio. It doesn't do it automatically, unfortunately. So anyway, there's a bear. And hopefully I can get my chat back up here. And nope, just a brown bear. Just a brown bear. We saw the bear. Yeah, I know. I didn't have my mic hooked up to this slide. It's an OBS thing, Buck. You wouldn't understand. You would understand this. Like, you have to prep everything beforehand, like all these slideshows and stuff. I have to, do it before I started the live stream so I could basically have assets to go to. Because I think you've done that the same time when you and I were speaking in the past. But yeah, for whatever reason, it won't let me do multiple pictures. I thought I had an image slideshow going. Let's see, here in Gladstone. Timmy, you're in Gladstone? Gladstone, Oregon? High of 16 today, of 24. High of 24, low of 16. So what is that? 32 plus 30. So you double it plus 30, right? So 32, 62, 40, 78. Grizzly and brown bear, yeah, they're different. The brown bears are smaller. Grizzlies, I mean, you just have to see them. They have kind of a more hunched big back. They're 2 or 3 times the size. I mean, a grizzly can be 10, 12 feet tall. And other than a polar bear, the grizzlies are kind of the dominant. Polar bears are the biggest. Grizzly bears are the next biggest. And then you have black and brown bears, which we have both kind of in this area. And, they run 200 to 400 pounds, where, those other ones can be 1,000. And like 1,000 pounds of killing fury, not like a bison where you'd have to like piss it off or it would feel threatened. No, a grizzly will just come and eat you. That's, they are the apex predator of, this continent, basically. We don't have, like, you in Australia have all these sneaky things that'll, if you're running around in your socks or your bare feet, you got some snake will bite you or some bug will bite you or something like that. I mean, other than crocodiles. But here, mountain lions, bears, wolves, stuff like that is more your warm-blooded predators will get you. But, I mean, you got to be kind of a dumbass, really, to get eaten by a predator here. I mean, you really do. With bear spray and, if you make noise, Most bears are trying to avoid you, if I'm honest. I probably chased that bear away when he was in the neighborhood ultimately, because they'll come through and tip over the trash can. Like Yogi's not far afield. Yogi Bear, they steal trash. They're trash pandas. That's what we call them. 75, nice and mild. Perfect. Well, that sounds. How's the humidity though? How much threat is a wolf? For like the last 150 years, wolves have not been a threat at all because our ancestors killed them all. Like freaking wiped them out. Like wolves were extinct in Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Montana, Idaho. And then some other people who are environmentalists decided that we needed wolves back. And so now our elk and deer populations are being decimated by wolves because since there are none of the indigenous wolves left, we went to Canada and effectively imported freaking dire wolves or whatever they got going on up there, which are about 2.5 times the size of our regular what we should have had. And so yes, all of the ranchers in the western United States basically killed off the wolves and many of the bears and stuff like that. All these predators because they were tired of their stock and their loved ones being dragged off. So they killed them all because they're monsters. But no, now we have wolves. And so if you talk to the forest rangers at Yellowstone, it's a Jim Dandy wonderful thing. If you go 5 minutes down the road and you talk to a rancher, they tell you about the 3 S's, which are shoot, shovel, and shut up. And I am not kidding. That's what they tell you. So anyway, enough about wolves. Oh, let's see. Oh, no humidity. Wintertime. Okay. Perfect. Nice. No, we don't. But yeah, in my area, we don't really have wolves. Eastern Oregon, where I elk hunt, yeah, they've taken a huge toll on our local elk population in Eastern Oregon. Just well, like words like decimate would be accurate. And yeah, I don't know what the ultimately what will happen because again, and you guys probably suffer from this too. And I don't want to make this too political, but here in Oregon, like the whole state is governed by 2 or 3 really liberal cities, and so the city people kind of make the rules for the country people, and so a lot of times they do really dumb stuff without talking to the people that have kind of lived in that area, and they are not shy about making rules that don't affect them that really affect you. And so, yeah, it's it's unfortunate. Let's see, Lukey. I think about coming to Australia all the time. Unfortunately, nobody's going to buy me a ticket down there, Luke. Uh, we could be kicking around some plans. Dana and I and some friends have had conversations about what it would cost to come down to Australia. Australia is difficult for a couple reasons. You may not be aware of this, but it's really far away from anywhere. Um, like there's no bargain basement. I mean, maybe I could stow away on a ship to come to Australia, but yeah, it's pretty expensive to come down there. And then on top of that, once we got there, I think weirdly, you have kind of weird tourist laws and things. So I don't know. Because if I came down, we would want to stay for a while and tour around. So I just don't know what that would look like. And my guess is that we could potentially be looking at a trip in 2 years ish. So 2028, mid 2028. But again, that'd take a lot of coordination. I have verbal commitments from my buddy and his wife that are all in. And so we do have kind of a nebulous plan, but I would ask you guys for advice on what we should do before I launched into one of these plans. I would rely on the expertise of the locals, be it Buck or Rob or you or any of the folks down there, just to kind of make sure we don't get screwed over and kind of maximize what we're doing. Let's see. And then when we come to Australia, we organize a camping event with you as a special guest. If he does, Luke, I think that would call for a camping with mates. What do you guys think? Yeah. Oh no. I would make sure when we come down, I'll try to coordinate it with you guys to just, aren't you having your bear crab event or your camping with mates situations? Again, I would look to you guys to be my native guides. And, don't be surprised if I ruck up there in a couple years. We buy some piece of crap 4-wheel drive and a piece of crap caravan, and me and my boys dirt bagging around far north Queensland, because that's just how we roll. I'm not afraid, but watch my videos. I bought a 26-year-old caravan. I don't give a crap what we're doing. Dana and I can live in a 26-year-old caravan in the United States and tour around. I'm pretty sure I could buy a 26-year-old caravan in far north Queensland and freaking 20 or 30-year-old 4-wheel drive. Because again, I'm not buying it to keep it. I'll just buy it for cheap on Facebook Marketplace, travel for 3 to 6 months, and just put it on Marketplace and sell it again. Get the hell out. I think that'd be our best plan, honestly. Because I fix stuff. That's part of what I do. And I've had old crappy cars most of my life, so I just don't see that being a huge issue, honestly. Let's see. You would have to have a 4-wheel drive to travel around in for free. Yeah, we just buy a car buck. They sell cars there, right? We have lots of weird laws in Australia in general. Take you up to Cape. Yeah, Buck, for sure. Cape York would definitely. Yeah, I've done some research, and your neck of the woods would definitely kind of be in the cards. Lynn, the weird laws is what I need you guys for, Lynn. I've been looking at some ads, and I don't do it. Should I buy a used car with rego? What's the difference between registration and? Anyway, this is a longer conversation. We can go on all night, guys. And I'm a couple years from actually doing anything, so I don't want to put you out. To learn how to drive on the wrong side. No, I was in Okinawa for a year. And it's amazing. If you put the steering wheel on the wrong side of the car, it's only natural to drive on the wrong side of the road. Is how that works. It'll take me a second, but you know what? I'll figure it out. It's the downside would be if I brought a car from America to Australia and tried to drive, because then you're all messed up. But it's like when these guys are buying JDM cars here, the Japanese cars here, and the right-hand drive, and you got to, you're driving next to the ditch all the time. But no, I had a Toyota. God, what was that? I had a Toyota. When you're in Japan, the Japanese name their cars like crazy Western words. It was a Corona, only it was maybe a Crown. I don't know. It was some English word that didn't make any sense. But yeah, I had a little two-door Toyota when I lived in Okinawa, Japan. And that was a right-hand drive car in a right-hand drive country. And I was kind of amazed because it does. Once you go to the country and everybody else is doing the thing, it's totally easy. Learn how to drive on the wrong side of the road. Yeah. Lots of weird laws in Australia. I would definitely have to do that. Well, that I don't know about licensure. I think I could do it either on my local, like, is a U.S. driver's license good, or do I need an international one, or do I actually have to obtain an Australian driver's license, and that sort of thing. So anyway, but that's, like I said, that's for a live stream in a couple years, or in years to come. We can discuss it for sure. And I got plenty of traveling to do here in the U.S. That's for a fact. I think after Canada, we're going to be spending some time in the Canada trip's going to be a big deal. This summer/fall, we're going to be getting back into the Southwest. We've got some Arizona, I think some Utah plans. You guys haven't seen it. My brother, who hasn't been, he might have been in some videos when we were in Moab. I take that back. Anyway, my brother has now purchased the Casita like ours. And he and Julie are traveling around in the thing. So it should be a lot of fun. We're going to get together with them, maybe make a Utah trip. That's really kind of all of our sweet spot. And then again, this fall, we'll be back in the desert Southwest. Um, Next year, I think we were supposed to do an Alaska trip this year. It didn't work out. That might be in the cards for a big. That's why I'm saying like 2 years, because I'm planning on kind of a big trip. And in Alaska, an Alaska trip. And granted, I live in Oregon. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so you can't get much closer in the continental United States than I am to go to Alaska. But it's still thousands and thousands of miles. And so when you're watching content here in the U.S. and folks are traveling around, it in many cases it's not quite like Australia because you guys do have some more vast distances, but Alaska is one of the big trips for us. You know, it would be multiple thousand miles, and obviously I've got to drive through Canada to get there, so it would be a good trip. And I think either next spring, I think next spring is when we would look to do that. Well, let's see. I can drive in Queensland on a U.S. Oh, okay, good. Pulled in some Yanks for speeding one day. He had a U.S. license. I talked his ears off about the U.S. and four-wheel drives and let him off. Nice. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. No, and I'm looking on Marketplace. You guys don't like Jeeps? That's good for me. I found a couple Jeeps down there. I'm like, crap, I don't care. I've worked on Jeeps my whole life. One form, way, shape, or form. Because they break down a fair amount, which is probably why you guys don't like them. But I was like, well, crap, I'll just buy a freaking Jeep and a little caravan and we'll travel around. That ain't nothing. I just got to make sure I got all, because I am, again, honestly, a rule follower. So whatever I got would have to be, you know, street legal and insurable. And I don't want to go to freaking Australia and like wind up in prison or anything. Let's see. That trip will be epic. Footage, yeah. And I may even, I'm assuming, Buck, you're talking about the Alaska trip. I'm really kicking around doing something with a drone. I know you told me a while ago I probably need to do that. I am I'm a technophobe. I don't like technology. It scares the shit out of me. And so I try not to involve as little technology in my life, and I feel like if I went to Alaska I'd have to break down and get a drone and like learn how to fly it and do all that crap like every other outdoor YouTube guy. So I try to stay away from that. I kind of try to do a lot of the stuff you do, which is put your camera on a tripod and talk to it, which is the best thing. I trust me, every time you see me doing a handheld camera shot, it sucks. And I know it sucks, but I got to do that sometimes too. But no, I love like your hookups and stuff when you actually just put your camera or phone or whatever you're using on a freaking fixed position and then let the action play out. That's the gold standard, my friend. And I enjoy your content because of that. It will come roadworthy. When you purchase something, mate, it will come roadworthy. Okay. Yeah, I know there are some different laws. I just don't know if you should buy one that needs to have the paperwork done or pay extra and get one with all the stuff already done. Because I don't know how big a deal that is to, what sort of inspection is required. And again, I'm not looking for anything wild. 4 people, maybe a tent trailer, 2 beds, we're good to go. Again, me and my buddies are all, like Kate and Jeremy, we're all dirtbags. You'd be amazed at how little we need to survive off the land. And you would love to meet them in person as well. Anyway, where are we at, guys? 5:15. So we've been on 104 minutes, 8 watching. Anything else you guys want to know? I would take you on a tour of the house, but we are we're leashed up at this point. This is another one of my weirdnesses. I have like weird quirks and features. And years ago, when I thought I wanted to do YouTube stuff, I went out and bought my first YouTube camera was a GoPro, and the image was fine. In fact, that's the image you're looking at right now. But I haven't used it in years because it sucks so bad. I've wanted to huck this thing across, just like throw it in the river, in the bushes, whatever, Because if you ever had a GoPro of a certain age, this one's a Hero 8. It always goes to every time I would press the button and the battery would just go dead. And it would fail to record or it wouldn't record audio. I mean, it was terrible. But as a webcam, I think it does pretty good. But fortunately, I have better stuff now. I've got well, you can see that whole shelf over there is full of camera gear now. So that's what we're up to. Uh-oh, I don't know how to make this. No. Oh. Oh, geez. You guys are sorry. My window here is all messed up. Oh, let's see. When you purchased on the road were they? Same with my daughter in Texas. Got off because of her accent. Oh, for sure. Lynn, are you kidding? Any young lady, any dude that has a freaking Australian accent in these United States, you're gonna get away anything but murder. You, it does not matter. Americans are fascinated with the Australian accent. Trust me. Yeah, they aren't gonna talk shit to you, for sure. I have no doubt. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Lynn, that's for sure. And got off because of her accent. Idea, John. You could do a live feed via Starlink and show us your Jeep and Bronco. Oh, that's an idea. Um, well, I don't need to do that on Starlink. I have internet here at the house. I mean, unless you wanted to drive around, I guess. Yeah, we could do a Q&A from the Bronco and the. I mean, I'm set up in my studio right now, so this isn't portable stuff, but we could do it off the phone, I guess, one of these days. Would be just fine. Absolutely. Or I could just make another video with them. Oh, by the way, the Jeep's not going to be around. In fact, I was going to do that today. Um, yeah, I got to make some room, and I don't use the Jeep. It's cool, and it looks cool on camera. It's never been registered. I mean, like I don't have tags for it. I have the title for it. You know, I mean, I legally own it, but it's not registered to go on the road. It doesn't have insurance. It's a beater, if I'm honest. It's a real beater, and it's again, I'm a dirtbag, so no big deal. I could drive that around. But how many cars does it? You know, I have two cars basically. We have the 4Runner, and I have the Bronco. I think one 30-year-old vehicle that requires attention is probably good enough. I'm gonna sell that Jeep on. Somebody will get a good deal. You know, it has a new wiring harness, new carburetor. You know, like the Jeep is a total disaster beater rig, but everything works. Like the turn signals work, the headlights work, all the wiring stuff works. The engine runs okay. It's just not. I don't know. It's just an old beater. And you're probably familiar with this, Buck, but everything looks better on video. Like that Jeep photographs very well. It is really rough. Like if you were here in person, you might not want to ride in it because it's not safe, type of thing. So, but some kid around here will buy it. I'm going to put it back on Marketplace. I tried to sell it at once a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I was asking too much money for it at the time. I'm just going to mark it down and get rid of it. I don't like selling cars or anything really on Facebook Marketplace, but enough's enough. I need the space. A little bit of extra cash wouldn't suck. And yeah, I just, priorities change. And again, how many four-wheel drives does one dude need? Would be that. Looks like an old Willys Jeep. Cool as. Yeah, it's a 79. It's not a Willys. It's a CJ. But yeah, it is neat. I do smile when I'm driving around. It's totally fun. But yeah, she's gonna go. I might buy. I've been kicking around. I've been getting an itch. What do you guys think about a BMW GS? Do you know anything about motorcycles? I've always wanted one. Maybe a mid 1990s to early 2000s, beater BMW GS. It's kind of an enduro off-road bike. Like they used to race in the Paris to Dakar rallies. Only an old one, not a new one. This will be a total piece of crap if I get it. But I was kicking that around, or I may just keep the cash. I don't know. Yeah, I think Buck, you and I are the only ones that ever even think about the Jeep now. My wife, Dana, thinks about it often. She's like, when are you going to sell that thing? So, yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna shut this down here pretty soon. How many guys do we got left in the chat here? Anybody got any questions? Yeah, I really appreciate all you guys tuning in. This has made it much more fun. Buck, I really appreciate the advice that you gave me before this, which was to engage with the chat. I hope to do a better job. Again, I'm using this third-party software, and unfortunately, I can't see the chat very well, or it keeps blanking out. Oh, let's see. Lynn said, "Oh, I'm not going anywhere." Lynn's got a 41-year-old Toyota Land Cruiser Ute here. Runs like a clock. Does have a mind of its own sometimes. All right, Lynn. And we'll see in a couple years, maybe if you want to sell it off. Although that's a pretty old. Well, no, that's not old. What am I? This is one of those things where I'm old. That car's not old. 41. Bronco's 30. So you have a 86, 87 Land Cruiser. Shit, I could even. Oh, sorry for the profanity. And even bring that here. I might ship that home. That would be awesome. So it's not an 80 series. That's a. Yeah, that would be cool. It's before an 80 series. I don't know what they are. Oh, Timmy, what are your big camping stores near? Oh, that's a good question, Tim. Well, we don't have like a King's store. We used to have one called G.I. Joe's, which was kind of an Army surplus store. We buy a lot of our gear, like camping gear, at Cabela's. It's a big hunting store. Or there's a variety of kind of big box outdoor stores. Cabela's is probably the biggest one near where I live. There's a variety of places. I tend to buy more of my outdoor gear, the new stuff like hiking boots and things like that, at a place called REI, and it's a co-op, which is an outdoor. It's way more like mountain climbing, skiing, stuff like that. Not like car camping per se, but they do a lot of backpacking gear and that stuff. And the other thing that Dana and I do, most of the things that you see me use in these videos that might like clothing or outdoor gear, a lot of that's used. I hit the thrift shops. Like my backpack, 2 backpacks are both secondhand. One I bought at a garage sale, and one I inherited. So a lot of my outdoor stuff is just secondhand stuff that I got. Again, Goodwill is like a thrift shop or secondhand place here in the U.S. And where I live is kind of a resort area. So there's a lot of people that are recycling old stuff, old outdoor gear. So I do buy a lot of used stuff. I don't have the budget that one Mr. Buckaroony has. So I'm not like ripping down to the King's store on any regular basis. And we have, that's the other place we have that I'm kind of friends with those guys is, and I think they're kind of on the cheaper side for you guys too, is the Iron Man. Does Iron Man ring a bell? Their suspension, they make a bunch of Australian stuff. If you look closely at our 4Runner, I've got Iron Man kit on that, like the rock sliders and the winch and winch bumper and all that stuff is from Iron Man. I think I think that's lower end stuff for you guys. '75 series. Whoops. Sorry, I missed some of your stuff. One of your big box stores. 80 series, Lynn, or 60 series? 75 series. Oh, that interests me. No, it's part of the furniture here now. Yes, we do need it. And Adventure Kings would probably, you need to talk to those guys, Buck. Yeah, when you're in Cairns tomorrow, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, tell them they need to send an outpost out here. If we've got Iron Man off-road in my metropolitan area, those dingle-dongs can figure it out. Freaking Kings should be, all that crap's coming from China anyway, right? Let's see, furniture. Does Walmart, Yes, Lynn. Walmart does sell camping gear, and that's a good point. I buy stuff from Walmart. Um, Not this travel mug, but used to be, like you've seen Yeti mugs. Uh, Walmart has their own brand of things. It's called Ozark Trail, and they're actually pretty well built. And yeah, we buy stuff at Walmart pretty consistently, and um, it's about as cheap as stuff as you can get. And but it, you know what? I use their gear. Yeah, Walmart's a pretty good store. I don't buy clothes there. The clothing's all made in China and kind of crap. But I do buy, well, I buy all their Chinese made freaking camping gear there. Again, I'm not afraid to spend money at Walmart. But, it's one of those things where you have to understand that it's just not going to be super well built. But yeah, I bought a lot of camping and hunting gear there. Jennifer G. Oh, that tears it. Now we're all going to have to stay on for another hour just for Jennifer, for sure. Oh, and Dave's, I think you said you're from Iowa, Dave. Yep, Lynn, lots of camping gear at Walmart, mostly low end, but some mid range. And Buck, yeah, I don't, you used to be able to buy guns and rifles at Walmart. I don't know. And believe Dave, I don't know. I live in Oregon too, which is super left wing. I think if you went to Montana, you'd probably buy anything you want there. Yeah, Jennifer. Anyway, congrats. You're on my first live stream. Thank you. Thank you for showing up and joining in. I appreciate it. It's been a sausage festival around here, if you know what I'm saying. But it's good to have a good person. Let's see. And good morning. But yeah, the uh, the Walmart thing. Yeah, I think Dave has that's about the best description I could give to kind of low to mid range. They tend to knock stuff off, kind of like Kings. Like you can go buy that camp oven that you guys all down there. You all have that 12-volt camp oven, and Buck has now the Kings one, which I'm sure is a rip off of the original design. Walmart's kind of like that. If you come up with cool camp stove or like the Yeti mugs and those sort of thing, a month later, there's going to be the identical same thing at Walmart, only it'll say Ozark Trail on it. So again, I'm not afraid to buy Ozark Trail gear, um, but it's fine. Middle of nowhere. Yeah. Oh, Dave, they don't know about the Midwest is an interesting place, guys. I've spent a little bit of very little time in the Midwest, but yeah, it's very rural, and because most of the people in the United States live on the two coasts, if I'm honest, and some kind of in the north center or the south, like down in Texas has big cities, up in Chicago and some of the Midwest up there, but places like Iowa, Indiana, they're real rural and very agricultural. Beautiful, beautiful country though. Nowhere near people. Come on now, Buck. You live in one of the like people. Isn't the Great Barrier Reef like in your neighborhood? Isn't that a thing? I mean, you never talk about stuff like that on your channel, which is nuts. But I'm pretty sure that like one of the best scuba diving places in the world is probably 10 minutes from your house. Uh, Come on, Buck. You live where cyclones happen, nitwit. Don't be giving don't be giving Dave any crap about his. You're always pointing out the negative, my friend. You're always pointing out the negative. If you listen to Buck, you'd think that we're all going to get eaten by bears or cougars if you live in Oregon, and if you live in Iowa, you're going to get swept away in a tornado. That's not necessarily going to happen. I mean, if you live in a trailer park in Iowa, the chances are good, but there's probably don't you have storm shelters there? And again, coming from the dude that has to weather cyclones, I don't think you got a lot of room to talk if I'm honest. Mm, Great Barrier Reef is over 1,000 kilometers long, and a bloke got eaten by a shark off Innisfail. Yeah, again, Innisfail's like in your neighborhood. Yeah, the reef. Yeah, I know you misspelled it. It's fine. But yeah, so you have one of like the wonders of the world like in your backyard. You're not making content there. How come I don't see any drone shots of that? Or how come you and the kid aren't taking the boat out on the Great Barrier Reef? Can you just drive a boat and like show us the Great Barrier Reef? Come on, dude. I don't know what you're doing. Uh, yep, the reef is on our front doorstep. Good for you, Lynn. See, you're not like Buck at all. It's no, and I my day is complete. Good thing about cyclones is you get days of warning. Those tornadoes hit too quick. Yeah, I mean, there's probably some truth to that. I don't know. I think no matter where you live, there's going to be something. I've never found anywhere that you know it's either too hot or too cold or too windy or too rainy. So I take the good with the bad. It's yeah, I would not move. Well, I've got a good Midwest for you to go off on a tangent because we're like way over time now. So what the hell? Uh, I was traveling for work back in the day, and I was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and my company booked me tickets to Danville, Illinois. And they thought this is pre-internet, right? So the travel agent had me fly from Minneapolis to St. Louis and then St. Louis to not Danville, Champlain, Illinois. And so these Midwestern states, I think Iowa, part much of Illinois, other than Chicago, is like just straight up cornfields and very Midwestern. And so I fly in, and literally I fly into Champlain, Illinois, and it is, we're about to hear the dog bark. Anyway, we get there. Me and the two pilots have to hitch a ride with the local motel owner to the motel for the night because I couldn't rent a car. And then I drive two hours to Danville only to find out that the day before I could have flown from Minneapolis to Chicago and driven 2 hours the other direction, and I would have been there already. But that's a that's a time for a different time. Anyway, so I'm talking to this plant manager there, and he's a guy about my age, and I'm in my early 20s at the time. And he bought a brand new house on an acre. It's like a 2,500 square foot custom brick home, single story, swimming pool, all the stuff in the Midwest for like $160,000, and maybe it was 150. And I just bought my first house here in the Pacific Northwest, and it was about the same price. Only mine was 20 years old and was like a total starter. It was like a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, tiny house, and not that I live in much more now, but at the time I told Dana, I was like, hey, we got to move to freaking Illinois, but she wouldn't do it. So whatever. But Danville, Illinois, also home of the Van Dyke brothers. Dick Van Dyke, Jerry Van Dyke, if you're old enough. Well, let's see, Dave. Like how much you attach your Casita window shades with magnetic clips and fender washers. Did you have to bend the clips to get the magnet flat to parallel? Yes, I did. Yeah. Yep, I just went to Harbor Freight and purveyor of all the finer things in life, and bought it's like a fridge magnet with a little clippy thing, like you'd get on a clipboard. Um, and I just kind of turned them backwards and then lodged it up under the window frame and kind of jockeyed it around there. Yeah, and it's worked for a couple years. I think we had one fender washer come off. I'm a big believer in VHB tape, the very high bond tape, and that's on the back of them. Now, the window shades was one of my mods that's actually worked out pretty well. We haven't really had a lot of problems with those. Again, the awning I'm having to remount currently. Let's see. I don't swim anywhere that doesn't have a filter up here. Too many things with big teeth. Oh, geez, Buck. You got to go. I mean, something's going to kill you eventually. You know, according to you, skin cancer is probably going to take you soon enough. What are you doing? Roll those shark dice. And I used to scuba dive in Okinawa all the time. Come on. In fact, do you even have great white? I thought it was there was some other shark that you guys have down there that's like way more dangerous than great whites. I thought it was like is it nurse sharks or something down there that you have way more shark attacks by those than great white attacks. I thought. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But yeah, Dave, the window shades have been a good deal. My neighbor driving by on his motorcycle. Sorry, I'm going through the comments, guys. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it. We've been here a couple hours. I would have stopped a while ago, except Jennifer G jumped in the chat, and if she's going to, I'm not going to let her down. I feel obligated. I really appreciate, almost everybody in here other than Dave and a couple of people from earlier. My friends all bailed early. And we have great whites down south and tiger sharks and bull sharks up north. Okay, so tigers and bulls on the Great Barrier Reef probably. But anyway, I really appreciate everybody tuning in, especially you guys, all my Australia friends. Again, this live stream has gone better in spite of my technical difficulties, my general lack of talent, which, if you watched any of my videos, this is the home of all marginal content. So you got to... Has 2 fatal great white attacks in the past. Boy, you're just a fountain of good news, aren't you, Buck? Installed cellular blackout shades on all the windows now. Yeah, Dave. I see you there. Anyway, I'm going to shut this guy down, guys. I really, this couldn't have gone better. I really appreciate it. I want to start building my own little community. Hopefully with with my friends from Australia and some new friends from my own channel. And hopefully in the future, just so you know, I do plan on having some other people on here. Unfortunately, the software I'm using, I got to download some other software to make that happen. So anyway, when I figure that out, I will let you know. I'm trying to get maybe get Buck to come on here, or Rob, or any of the other kids that from the chat, and maybe some other folks you don't know. My friend Carrie already agreed a while back. I got a reminder that tell her, hey Carrie, we were supposed to do live streams together. Remember from 6 months ago? Anyway, I do have some other plans for some other folks to jump on here, and so I'd like to make this a regular thing. And if you have any suggestions on the date, does this date and time work for everybody? Because I have no, I have no compunction about, other than I don't want to step on when Buck's live streams are. I'm never going to be in competition with him or Rob or any of the ones that you guys already watch, the majority of you folks. And so I thought this would be a time, Saturday morning, you guys would be good to go. We need to get Mike Blakely on. Yeah, where is... I didn't see Mike. And thank you, Dave. That's very kind. Let's see. Great one on your first live. Next one on the Starlink. We will do a Starlink one in the future. We'll be on the road here, and like I said, a couple weeks we'll be on the road. I'm going to... If you guys are cool with it, I'm going to stick with the 4 p.m. West Coast U.S. time, which puts it kind of 8, 9 o'clock in the morning for you guys. Down under and on the weekend. And so I think that works best for all of us. Sorry, I've been talking a lot for a couple hours, but no, I really appreciate everybody's participation and everybody I know here. The folks that I don't know have been so totally kind. Everybody from Buck's Feeds, I really appreciate it. You guys are always so nice and so accommodating. I appreciate all the camaraderie, and I certainly hope to foster that here as well as we kind of add to my community. And so with that, I think I'm gonna scrub this thing off, or I'm gonna attempt to turn it off. It may not go off. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna shut the lid. Going to head off now. Thanks, John. Thank you, Lynn. And thank you, all you guys. Dave, Buck, Timmy. Who else was on here that I was going to mention? Jennifer G got here late, but I'm not holding that against you, Jennifer. Lynn Rogers. All the folks that didn't even comment. I really just appreciate you guys tuning in. And, again, Buck, I really appreciate the advice on the chat stuff. You're dead on. And again, I much like when Buck's doing his stuff, I love to be on the keyboard. In fact, you guys are looking at, I didn't even think about it. When Buck's got his live streams going, this is where I'm sitting. I literally will get up if it's in the middle of the night. Dana's in the room, kind of, you guys can't see it, but anyway, this is my studio, my little kind of man cave. I come in here, I fire up the laptop, and because I'm not a good cell phone live stream bleep blooper dude, I get in here on my keyboard, and this is how I'm commenting on Buck's streams all the time, is exactly in this spot. Excellent, Buck. I really appreciate it. Yeah, the video and audio, I was hoping to do good. Everything I do is janky. I again repurposed my GoPro as a webcam, and, and then I have a shotgun microphone with a DJI cordless. Like I could literally just walk around the room with the stupid microphone. There's no cord on that. I can't figure out a way to do it cordlessly on the deal. I'd have to use my phone or something. Oh, yep. See you, Tim. Oh yeah. And I will be. Dana's out of town, so it's like game on. I'm good to go. We'll I'll see you guys on Buck's stream from this same spot. Like literally, I will be sitting here tippy typing away on your stream, Buck. Oh, you like the angle too? Nice. It's no, I worked a little bit to try to get this in shape. Now behind the camera is absolute disarray. So don't look over your shoulder because all my junk's piled up there. I'm trying, bro. Trying to make it look good. I mean, you got the bar pretty high. So I figured I would make up with camera angles and technology for a lack of talent. And that's basically what I'm doing. But I've been doing that my whole life. Anyway, guys, I gotta run. We're out.